So my name is Malin. I'm a university student, and I'm doing this as part of my master's dissertation. Um, More importantly, I'm a social media student, so I'm very interested in the social media part of Flat Earth because from my understanding, is that Flat Earth has grown a lot the past decade. Um, and I assume that social media played a big part. Um, so that's why I would love to speak to you.
Well, social media played a big part in suppressing flat Earth, but yeah, social media
Mhm.
helped us come together and
Yeah.
and find each other. But in 2014, it really kind of YouTube would excuse me, somebody would make a great video, you'd watch it, and then a whole bunch of other great videos would show up. Then in
Mm.
2017, when the search for flat Earth was the number one search on YouTube, nothing else was being searched
Mm.
for. They took down the scoreboard. No longer does it give you the results. Back in 2017, it used to give you the results, and they changed the algorithm. So now, like, let's say, hey Dave, how does circumnavigation work on a flat Earth? I send you a video. YouTube is going to suggest an anti-flat Earth video right after that. So
Mm.
they're doing
Yeah.
everything they can to suppress it. But if you look, these are just some of the flat earthers around here. Where are you located?
Mm. I'm in the UK right now.
Yeah, UK. Look at all these flat earthers around you.
Yeah. Are
Pretty
that
great.
is that users of the app?
This is users of the app that have logged into the friend finder. It's not even all of the users of the app.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me, or should we go right ahead?
um, no, I have no questions for you other than, actually, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
A man walks into the room right now, holds a gun to your head, sorry for the horrible analogy, and says, is the earth flat or round? What are you going to say?
I'm gonna say it's round.
Okay, perfect. So at the end
Yeah.
of this conversation, I'm going to ask you what your number one reason that you think the earth is a globe, but you lead the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to begin with, I just have some background questions. Feel free to answer them however you like. So first, I'm just wondering where you're from.
I am on the East
Or where
Coast
you
in the
live.
United States and
Yeah.
lived here my whole life.
All right. And would you say that you're generally interested in politics at all, or?
I believe I'm interested in the puppet show they call politics. And I think
Yeah.
it's all a show. It's all, as Shakespeare said, the whole world is a stage.
Mm. So you don't really engage in any political activities?
No, not as far as mainstream politics. No.
Yeah. All right. Could you describe your relationship with religion, if it
So
exists? Or...
yeah, so I'm not a big fan of organized religion. And
Mm.
before 2014, I guess I could, I believed in the Big Bang. I believed in scientism. I believed in all of, in the that we live in this ever expanding, scientifically impossible, expanding universe. And then when I discovered that all of that is complete, cartoons for adults. And I discovered that the Earth is flat. Now, flat is not a shape. Flat is a description of level and horizontal, and not moving is just not
Mm.
moving. And when I discovered that, I realized it's intelligently designed. Therefore, there is no other alternative than there is a creator. And then from that point, I say it's everyone else's personal journey from there, what their relationship with the creator, whatever you want that to be, is.
Mm.
So if you say religion is the wrong word. I understand that there's a creator and that I am at the center of creation along with everybody else here in this realm.
Mm. Yeah. And could you describe your social media presence?
My
For
social media
example, what
presence is
website or...
completely shadow banned.
Mm.
Anytime my videos, even to subscribers, don't get notifications. My YouTube channel has been stuck at 99,000 forever.
Mm.
And it's slowly going up because I'm doing so many different shows and people are going on, but people get unsubscribed. It'll go up 300 overnight, and then the next day it's down 400. So
Mm.
they're actively, clearly trying to suppress it. And then the Facebook page, the Flat Earth Podcast Facebook page, is only people that are subscribed to it will ever see it. No one will ever just come across it by random. So as far as social media, we force our way out there. But what I do is I go on other people's shows that are totally not flat earth related. People like you, let's say you had a podcast and you're like, oh, let's have a crazy flat earther on. And so I go on your show, you put it on your channel. The algorithm doesn't know how to pick it up yet. And so it's going all over the place. Yeah. However, if you search in YouTube my name or the word flat earth or flat earth proof, flat earth horizon test, flat earth circumnavigation, whatever, if you have the words flat earth or my name in there, the same propaganda videos will show up every time, proving that it's completely hidden, and they want you to watch these ridiculous videos that they think will help keep you away. But in reality, anybody with a working mind is just seeing it and going, wait a minute, this is weird. Why am I getting the same videos? And then they find my channel, then they watch my short videos, then they watch my longer videos. Then they're like, oh my God, So there's my social media. It's shadow banned. That's the best word.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when were you first taught about globe Earth, if you remember a specific time?
We were all taught about globe Earth before we can talk, right? In your crib, your parents probably put a mobile above your head of the planets. You probably had NASA sheets, or something like that. You were given, dinosaurs and rocket ships as toys. I mean, you're a girl, so you might maybe gotten some other stuff. But the programming starts. Then here in America, Sesame Street and Walt Disney, and I'm sure it's worldwide, have astronauts on there, and it's all globe programming. And here in America, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere. One of the first worksheets you do in school is learning about the rotation of the Earth and the sun and the moon and the planets and gravity. And then they do, the earliest memory I have, which is amazing. This is like, I've had this memory for years. I remembered it, and then it didn't really play significance until 2014 when I realized the Earth is flat. I forget if it was kindergarten or first grade. Maybe it was first grade. I don't know. And they the teacher took us outside and was teaching us about gravity. He had a bucket of water on a rope, and he swung it around and he made it go upside down. He goes, that's gravity, right? And then and as a little kid, I said to him, but we're on a ball and the water is on the outside. So you'd have to turn that bucket around so the water would be facing out, right? As a little kid, I said this. And the teacher goes like this, and he goes over and gets the book, and he's got his textbook. It's highlighted over years and years of highlighting. He goes, this is how they want me to teach it, and that's how I'm going to teach it. But you keep asking questions. And then he sent me off to go play on the swings. And so from that moment right there, I guess I knew that they're not really teaching, they're indoctrinating.
Yeah. And when did you come to discover flat Earth theory for the first time?
So I was doing a podcast about conspiracies, about deceptions of this world. A conspiracy is when two or more people get together to benefit themselves. So people that say conspiracies don't exist, you and I are in a conspiracy right now. We are having a conversation for your paper, for your benefit. Okay. That could be considered a conspiracy. So a conspiracy, is when you're being deceived. If you watch the news, that's where the conspiracies are. The news is all conspiracies because it's all nonsense. So I was doing this podcast, and some of the listeners like, hey, Dave, have you ever looked into flat Earth? Right. And that's one I'm like, oh, flat Earth. That one I don't even have to look into. You're an idiot. And I would ban them from my social media for being so stupid. And then finally, a researcher that I respect very much is like, Dave, I think the Earth is flat. And she sent me some videos, right? And people, oh, that's where you get your information, from YouTube? I'm like, no, YouTube is just a source for people to park information, good information, bad information. Everything's there. It's like life. Everything's there. You have to sort it out. And I started watching these videos not to see the truth, not to see if they were true, to prove flat Earth is stupid and prove the globe. And I tried for 2 weeks. And YouTube at that time was feeding me great video after great video from a flat Earth perspective. And after 2 weeks, I'm like, we definitely don't live on a globe. And for the last, 8 years or so, 9 years, I have been trying not to prove flat Earth, to prove the globe. And you can't. Things fall into 3 baskets. Hey, this works only on a flat Earth. Hey, this works on a flat Earth and a globe Earth. hey, this works only on a globe Earth. And what you'll find is nothing goes into that third basket ever. Right? And so how much stuff do you have to pile in the first two baskets when nothing is in the globe only basket? Nothing. How much do you have to pile in there? And people, and then they come out with me. People, here's the thing. By the way, if you want to be rich, you want to make tons of money, invent something that makes people lazier. Okay? Because that's what people want, right? What makes people lazier? Fast food makes people lazier because you don't have to shop, you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, right? Pretty good, right? Fast food, right? What makes people lazier? DoorDash. You guys have DoorDash in the UK? They deliver the food. They deliver. You can order.
Think we have other services.
Okay, yeah. So a fast food delivery service, so you don't even have to get off the couch to get your fast food. Okay, right? And it's worth billions of dollars. Right. So my point was, what was the question? I'm sorry, I slide slipped there.
It was mostly how you came to discover flat Earth.
So, God, I forgot. I was making a great point. So when I looked at, I forget what I was going to say. We have to move on. It'll come back to me. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, you mentioned, I'm just gonna, from what you said, you mentioned that you had a podcast before.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was about deceptions of this world. And that's it. It's easy to believe something. You can watch a video and go, I believe that. I'm done. Okay. I tell people, don't believe anything I say. Go out and verify. That I remember what I was going to say. The globe components. Now, there's different. When I say globe components, these are people that are ignorant and just are indoctrinated. And then there's other people that are out there that are deceivers to help keep the secret. Most people are just indoctrinated and have been programmed to fight ever looking into flat Earth. And the thing is, believing is easy. Belief is the enemy of knowing, right? You can believe. Where do I live? Where do I live? I told you. About East Coast of America. Do you believe it or do you know it?
I believe it.
You believe it. See, now we have to go through life believing things because you can't verify everything. You're looking at me. Why would I lie? You've weighed out all the resources, all of the possibilities. You're like, yeah, he probably lives on the East Coast, but you don't know it. Now, if you wanted to know it, you're going to have to spend a couple hours today going online, maybe find me on Facebook, find my friends, look at some pictures. Oh, look, this was taken in Connecticut. And then you'll figure out, yeah, he does live there. Then you know. Belief is easy. It takes no effort. You can hear something, believe it, and then you can go drink a beer. You can take a nap. You can do whatever you want. Okay. To know, you have to actually engage your God-given common sense. You have to put effort and memory and thought into things. And so you can believe we live on a spinning, wobbling, twirling ball flying through an infinitely, expanding universe, or you can look and trust your senses and then test and verify. So the Globers say, there's no proof of flat Earth, and there's millions of proof of the globe Earth. The opposite is true. There are no proofs of globe Earth, and there are millions of proofs of flat Earth, but we've been programmed not to see it.
Yeah. So I understand that some people believe different things about what the flat Earth looks like, how it works. So if you look at Earth from outside, could you describe what it looks like to you?
So there are to address your question, that we don't know exactly what this realm is. Some people think that we're enclosed in a dome. Some people think there's a giant, bigger dome. Some people think the sky is a flat sky. Some people think that it just terminates beyond Antarctica, or some people think that it extends. We don't know because we're not allowed to go explore these places. But we all know, not believe, that we don't live on a spinning ball. That's scientifically provable, right? And if you want to go into religion, like the Bible, it talks about a flat, stationary, level, non-rotating, non-moving Earth, right? The Bible is literally a flat Earth book. But I don't like to lead with the Bible because, like me, back in 2014, you mentioned the Bible, you're a religious nut. I'm not going to even listen to another word that you say. I throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay? So, did I answer the question?
Yeah, but kind of, could you describe what you think the moon or the sun is, for example?
Those are all great questions. Here's a balloon at 120,000 feet. Now, If you knew nothing about this world, I would say, how far is this light? How far? How far right now? Look at that light. Use your common sense.
I
How
don't
far
know.
is it?
Not too far.
Not too far. Is it 10 miles away? Or is it 93 million miles away? You can't even
I
fathom
don't
what
know.
93 million is. It's right there. Now, if
Yeah.
you look, it's lighting up this area of the clouds. If it was 93 million miles away, it would have to light up everything. This is a local light, a local light. So let's just take a look, because you asked what the sun is, and the answer is I don't know. I don't even know if the sun is a physical thing, right? Here's a wall, and I got a light here, and it's lighting up kind of like a hot spot, like I just showed you, but it's dark over here and it's dark over there. So light doesn't travel forever. And when you add an atmosphere in there, it it blocks the light. It stops the light from going away. So let me show you. I want to show you here. Where is it? Of course, what I'm looking for disappears. So here's the sun. Now, if you believe you live on a heliocentric ball, you have to believe that you are falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, which is making the sun appear to go down. Or you can just realize that the sun is just moving away across the flat plane and it's getting lower due to perspective. These are mountains that are thousands of feet above this drone's eye line. And this is just going beyond the mountains. It's just going beyond them. But it looks like it's all at eye level by the way our eyes work. Okay. Sometimes, though, you don't have mountains, you have dry, clear air, and the sun is just going away. Now, it's not going down, it's going away, and it's getting smaller and smaller, and it's taking its light with it. The reason I have Paul McCartney on here, he's singing, "The fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round."
Yeah.
Right?
So do you believe that there's anything beyond Antarctica, for example, or do you not speculate?
Oh, I love speculating. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. So where am I going? What am I looking for? Antarctica. So anything beyond 60 degrees south is off limits. No one's allowed to go there, right? Let me right here. So on the app here, if I go to the images, and we go down to here. So here we are, South America, UK, Africa, right? And this pink line is 60 degrees south. Nobody is allowed to go beyond there. Okay. Wait a minute. I can go to Antarctica. When you go to Antarctica, they take you to the tip of this little peninsula here. Now, this peninsula is bigger than some countries. This is gigantic. Okay. You don't know where you are when you get here, and you're not allowed to independently explore out here. This is Antarctica. This is the shoreline of our pond. You have a pond near you or a lake near where you live? I want you to go to the lake today and look at it and ask yourself why the water isn't flowing away. And what would the answer be? Why isn't the water leaving the lake?
Because there's some edge.
Well, because the edge
shoreline.
is containing it. The shoreline is higher than the water and it's containing it. If you lowered the shoreline, the water would flow away, right? Antarctica is the shoreline of our world pond. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Isn't that weird? Did they teach you that in school?
No.
Antarctica is the highest continent on Earth. It's the shoreline of our world. Okay. Maybe this is just another depiction looking straight down. This is all Antarctica. Antarctica could be bigger than all of the rest of the world and all of the oceans combined. Right? Right? Maybe we live here. Right? Here we live, and here is Antarctica. And then beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is another world with another sun. More land. Let me ask you a question. What would you call more land? Extra territory, maybe? Extra territory means more land. So if somebody lived out here on the extra territory, what might you consider them if they came to visit you? Extra territory. Somebody comes from the extra terra, extraterrestrial, from the outer space, scientifically possible on a flat Earth, versus scientifically impossible infinite space. We're going to get into that in a moment, and that's important. So let me show you how the deception happens. Okay, so as I was saying before, anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation, but there's tons and tons of evidence, right? So what they did is they show us Antarctica like this, right? This is Antarctica, but no one is allowed to go anywhere but over here. What? Right? And when you go here, you go to an island. There's two islands, Deception Island and Rothschild Island. Which one do you want to go to? Okay. Deception Island or Rothschild Island. And they tell you, and that's it. And they have to, and no one's allowed to go over here. But all of these mountains are called Dome A, Dome B, Dome C. Why are they calling them domes? Right? You can make up excuses all day long, which many globe people do. And then you talked about politics before. All the countries are fighting over resources, over rights, and over land, and over everything. But all of the countries in the world agree on two things unanimously. Nobody can go to Antarctica, a treaty that's been in place for like 80-year treaty that no one's ever broken or even questioned. Everyone agrees no one's allowed to independently explore Antarctica. And everybody also has to get the injection. Okay? All the countries agree on these two things. And these two things are highly related because it's all about control of the population, right? The Antarctic Treaty was put into effect in 1959. You can't even question the treaty until 2041. Have you heard, can you name another treaty that's lasted that long or has a rule where you can't question it and nobody questions it? And now, Admiral Byrd supposedly went out there on Project High Jump and said they found more land beyond the South Pole, bigger than America, filled with resources. No people, no animals, no nature other than ice and maybe some penguins. And everyone's like, oh, can't go there. Can't go there. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon instead. Don't look at Antarctica. Look at the moon where you can't go. We're going to send a bunch of Freemasons up there and we're going to show you some nonsense and you're going to believe it because it's cool, right?
Yeah.
So we've been programmed into believing that. So this is what I want to show you. So how do they hide the flat Earth? Remember the Truman Show? Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
And Truman goes, I want to be an explorer. What did the teacher do? Pulls down a map and goes, oh, Truman, there's nothing left to explore. We've discovered everything. Okay. Remember that? That was a big important scene. So I call this, how do you know? So think about this, right? And let me ask you a question. In the UK now, is the news just filled with alien information about extraterrestrial bodies found and stuff like that?
Not that much, actually. I've seen a few articles about the hearing in the US, but yeah.
That's the next big deception. So just beware. It's not real. Don't fall for it. You're smarter than that. Okay. So I want you to imagine this. Airplanes, boats. No, with boats, we have boats. We don't have airplanes. We don't have radios. We don't have internet. And I live here in America. Okay. Right. And now they decide to say, okay, we're going to take this circle and there's just this land, right? I got Canada, America, right? You can't really go north. It gets too cold. A little bit of South America. And no one's allowed to explore the last 100 miles here. There's military. It says you can't go here. And we go out on boats, but you're not allowed to go out fast here. They go, no. And they turn you around. You can't go there. You can't go there. And so all you know is people in America, let's say there's just white people, right? Or Indians, whatever. It's just not interracially mixed yet. Okay. So the controllers say, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut it out. We're going to wrap it around a sphere. And we're going to tell people this is where they live. They live here. Okay. And there's nothing else, but you're not allowed to explore this white dot down here. It's too cold, and we have to preserve the ice and the penguins. Go ahead and deforest the Amazon. That's okay. Go ahead, put atrazine in all of the food and, have screw with everybody's hormones, but don't go here. Don't go here. Mm. And everyone's like, okay. And then one day, some people from Africa or from the UK or from Australia who have more advanced technology, they fly in an airplane and they land in an Air Force base here in America. And they're a black person or a Chinese person, someone come from China. And everybody looks and goes, it's an extraterrestrial. We've never seen anybody like this. It's a humanoid extraterrestrial. Okay. And so this is what they did with our world, right? So what if the world, we have our pond, our world pond, which I showed you, and then there was other ponds, other ponds, other ponds, other ponds. So we'll take a look at this world. This is the world of ponds. They got 173 ponds, and we live in the center of this one. Okay. This is the map I showed you, another version of it. Here you got the extra terra. So this is our pond. We don't even know what's out here because we're trapped here. So what they did is they cut this out. They wrapped it around a sphere, and they said, this is where you live. No one's allowed to go beyond 60 degrees south, which isn't even at this wall. And Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of a ball. There's no photos of Antarctica, right? You know what this is? This is Truman Show. There's nothing else to discover. It's a prison for your mind. It's a prison for your mind. Okay. So
what would be the reason for institutions to lie about this? It's probably a very common question you get.
Well, so this is the question, and I try to avoid. My favorite question, by the way. I don't avoid it, but I try to get as much facts out there in the first place, because here's a very grisly example. Again, I'm very good with the grisly analogies. You walk into a room and there's 20 dead people. There's axes. They're chopped up. It's brutal, blood everywhere, right? But there's never been a murder anywhere in your town, village, wherever you are. And you look around and you go, why would somebody do this? And somebody goes, I don't know. Then you go, I don't believe it. I don't believe it happened. You're looking at 20 dead bodies. I'm going to show you 100 dead bodies of flat earth proofs. And then you're going to go, well, why would they do it? Why would they do it? And the reason they do it is to hide your true potential, to hide the fact that you are at the center of creation, that your thoughts create your reality. Okay. They don't want you to know that you have God-given inalienable rights and no government is the mind, control the mind. It's all about mind control. They want you to believe that you have to listen to them. They want you to believe that they grant you rights. They're trying to step in between you and the creator. It's the creator, then you can put government and whatever else you want to put below that. Government is trying to get above the creator or in between you and the creator. Okay. And so they're hiding more resources. They're hiding more land. They're hiding technology. They're hiding freedom. They're hiding free energy. They're hiding your true potential. They're hiding the fact that they want you as their slaves. We are literally their slaves, working in their corporations, playing with their fake money, and agreeing to their system. We live in this world where everything is offers and contracts, and we constantly unknowingly accept these offers. When someone says, hey, you need to do this, and you go, okay, you just agreed contractually to do the thing that they told you need because you believe that you need to. That's on you. Everything in your life is on you, right? It's so easy just to believe and listen and follow rather than think and take charge and realize that you are your own creator. You have your relationship with the creator, and nobody can get in your way. Okay. Yeah. One other thing, and then I'll throw back to you. A lot of people go, you flat earthers just want to think you're smarter than everybody else. Unfortunately, on this topic, we are. And you want to feel special. Well, it's not bad to feel special, but that's not the reason we do it. Okay. The reason we do it is because we are after reality. Okay. And reality is an amazing, amazing place, but they have us believing in space fantasies. They have us believing that we're an insignificant speck flying through an infinitely expanding universe with, at best, a distant God. Okay? When the truth is, we are at the center of creation.
Yeah. So what social media did you use to learn about flat Earth or communicate with others?
Well, at first it was YouTube, because YouTube wasn't censoring. But now, the globe trolls will come out there and go, look, flat Earth is dying, and I could show you with my app, flat Earth is taking off. Okay, but they're censoring it. Like if you were brand new to someone said Earth is flat, you go, let me home Google flat Earth. You're going to find nothing. That's why I created this app, because the app bypasses the algorithm. All I tell people is I offer, what a Bitcoin is, about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. It's like 30 grand, whatever it is. So I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. And that gets a lot of people like, flat Earth is stupid. Okay, come take money from this stupid guy that thinks the Earth is flat. I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. All you have to do is watch the daily video each day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, send me 1 proof, right? 1 proof of the globe. But before you do, I tell people you have to click the frequently asked questions button, which is right there. And up comes all the questions you're going to ask. They're all here. Okay? Click it, watch it, and go, oh, that's how it works. And at the end of that 2 weeks, unfortunately, you're going to lose the respect of your family and friends because you're going to be a flat earther, but eventually they're going to come around.
Yeah. So can you use that app to communicate with others as well? Or
absolutely. Let's do so on the friend finder, it'll show you all of the people around you, and you can hold on, give it a second. So yes, we are creating our own social media because social media is hiding us. So it takes a second to load. Here we go. So I can tap on one of these. I tap on this one, and here is Janny. And let's see, Janny has a profile. I'll click, and it'll take me to her profile there. And they haven't actually filled it out yet. This is just a test, but normally their picture will be there, and you can send out messages, but you can also go into there's texting, so you can message them, and you can have groups. We got a group here, True Medicine, great group. This is my beta test group. This is where I do testing, right? And so I'm going to hit the camera, and it breaks the illusion of what you're seeing here. And people will just jump on, and then you can actually start talking to other people, right? And you have these amazing conversations. People are literally getting married on this, having babies because they've met the love of their life. They're finding jobs because flat earthers really only want to work with other flat earthers. So you can search for people. Hey, I want to search for somebody. I want a real estate broker in Florida, and I could find a commercial real estate, a real estate broker in Florida. Hey, I'd rather work with a flat earther than somebody that thinks we live on a spinning globe. I guess it's early in the day here. Nobody jumping on, but that's how you do it. You set up a call, and everybody yells at me. They're like, warn us when you're going to do that so we can be ready and jump on. And I do it, and I don't warn them because they never know when I'm going to do it. So yeah. And so the last thing is I could say I'm going to set a radius of 100 kilometers. Okay. Save. And it's going to say at 100. Oops. Let me go here. At 100 kilometers as the loads, there's going to be probably close to 1,000 people. And I can click that button, and 987 people, I could send a message. Hey, we're having a meetup at the park at Joe's Bar and Grill at whatever, Saturday at 4:00. And then we did that, and 75 people showed up. New friends for life.
That's good.
Yeah. So as far as social media, we're making our own social media because we're so hidden.
I've heard from a few others that they use, for example, Telegram or Discord service. Is this something that you use at all, or?
I hate Discord, but yes, a lot of people use Discord. It's just too cumbersome for me. But Telegram is fantastic, and a lot of people, on here, the groups thing is kind of just like Telegram. You can put all sorts of stuff in there, and then you also only have quality. When I say quality people, I don't mean that other people aren't quality people. I've never met a blue dot I don't like. Okay, because every blue dot, when you wake up to flat Earth, you wake up to tons of other deceptions in this world. right? And all of the real big ones are being censored. I mean, you're aware of the censorship that's going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, anything, when you see something censored, what really wakes people up? You show them proof after proof after proof, and they're like, I don't know. No. Then they realize that YouTube is censoring it. They're like, whoa, why are they censoring it? And then they start looking into it, right? So, so there's so many proofs that each one alone shuts down the globe, but people are just like unwilling to look. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing is on a globe, right? On a globe, you have a physical horizon. This is the horizon that you're seeing from your point of view. And my mouth is behind the horizon. And you zoom in, you can't see my mouth because it's behind a physical horizon. But on a flat Earth, the horizon is not physical. Okay. What do I mean by that? It's not physical. It's just where the sky and the ground come together and it forms that line, whether it's above your head or whatever, it's going to form it at eye level. Everything comes to eye level and is horizontal, right? So let me show you what that means. So out here, we're zooming in with the camera. So what we're doing is we're zooming in, and as we zoom in, we're increasing the angular size, and all of a sudden you'll see, oh, look, there's a sailboat there. I didn't see that before, right? Now, a glober will tell you that it's behind the curve. Now watch. The bottom is going to disappear. Can my finger hide that boat? Not now, but if my finger was a wave here, it could hide the whole boat. So the boat disappears from the bottom up, not over a curve. You've been programmed to think it's over a curve. And the fact that I can zoom in and see it again proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that it can't. So here's another spot, Alusia, France. Out here is Mount Canigou, 175 miles away. And at that distance from this elevation, the top of Mount Canigou should be over half a mile below the curve. So we're looking out there. I don't see it. Must be behind the Earth curve. This has got to be the edge of the round Earth here. I don't see it. So right now you see the light that's bouncing off of me. And I could prove that if I turned off all the lights in this room, you wouldn't see me anymore because there's no light bouncing off of me. The light I'm looking at over here is brighter than the light you see bouncing off my face, because that's the source of the light. Then it reflects off of me, and then it goes to the camera, and you see it. Twice a year, the sun, as on its journey between the two tropics, lines up between the viewing spot and the mountain. And as it goes beyond it, it backlights the mountain. And here's the whole mountain. The very top of this mountain should be over half a mile below the curve, but here it is. It's not a mirage. It's not the world conspiring to fool you to believe it's a flat Earth, because, the globers will say, well, the sun and the mountain are below the curve and they're refracting up and they're stopping at eye level. And, the water here, which should also be over the curve, is refracting up. And no, it's right there on a flat Earth. It's just the limits of our vision and the limits of light on Earth. Right? Here's another one. So at ground level, when you're looking through the horizontal across the ground, the air is the thickest. It has more moisture and pollution and whatever. And even on a clearest day over distance, it becomes opaque. And when it becomes opaque, it looks like sky. So that creates our false horizon. But when you're up high on top of a mountain, the air is clearer and thinner and you can see farther. So here is from top of a mountain, we can see a whole bunch of mountains. Okay, there's 8 of them, and they're over 700 miles away. Right? People go, well, the Earth is so big, you don't understand. No, according to globe math, the tops of these mountains should be over 40 miles hidden behind an Earth curve. Remember? Earth curve, hidden. You can't see my face. Okay. We can see these mountains 700 miles away. 40 miles of the tops of those mountains should be below the curve. Well, something's wrong with the curvature formula. So we go to the the flat Earth debunking websites that are deceptive liars, and we look at their stupid calculators, and one of them says, well, it's not that it's 40 miles below, it's that you're here and it's here, so it's just the hump. And that hump, well, that's only 20 miles. Okay. The tops of these, it's stupid, but the tops of these mountains should only be 20 miles below the curve, but I can see them. We can see too far. Earth is flat, or the Earth is 1,000 times bigger than they're telling us. 1,000. Okay. They tell us there's 8 continents. I think there's 100,000 continents.
Yeah. So if there's something you're wondering about flat Earth, or if you have a question, maybe now you feel you have most of them answered, but where would you turn then? Did you have a specific website or creator or?
Well, we have all sorts of creators, and you'll never find them. Even if you're subscribed to them, half the time you become unsubscribed and you don't know when new videos come out. But honestly, I do my best on putting out every good flat Earth video is on this app, right? If you go there's a button that looks like a spider web. It's the web button, and it's the more resources. Like you watch something and you Google flat Earth and they feed you National Geographic proves the Earth is a globe. Just go here, find that video in the Debunking the Debunkers, and we show you how they're lying. We don't say they're lying. We show you how they're lying. We show you how badly they're lying also.
I mean, before, when you were learning about flat Earth, was there a specific, did you turn to YouTube videos, or because I've heard some people turn to read the old books, for example?
Oh yeah, no.
Do experiments, or
as I said, if you can make people lazier, they'll take it. And people with the controllers have us right where they want us. Everyone's living paycheck to paycheck, and they have no time. And then when they do have time, they watch sports and they drink beer and they watch movies. That's all mind control. Okay, bread and circuses, and people don't read books anymore. So yes, there's tons of books. Matter of fact, I have a book section here on the app. All sorts of great old books and new books. Books for kids, books for adults. But there's a couple. One of my favorites. This is a great one. A Navigator Across the Ice Wall. Really easy reading, real short. The Iron Republic, about a politician in New York in the 1800s that got sick and tired of the nonsense here. Was exploring Antarctica, found an opening, and ended up in the outer lands. And he lived there for 10 years, and he came back, and he told about it. Advanced civilization, talked about floating cars, electricity, and flat screens, and all this stuff. And in the 1800s, he wrote about this. Whether it's true or not, it rings true to me. He's talking about more land beyond Antarctica with advanced civilization, stuff that he couldn't have known about. Okay? And so, yeah, they're all here. But people are taking the books and taking the information and making videos about the books. Okay? So that's why most of the stuff on the app.
That's how you learned about it? Well,
I read some books too, and I researched, and I went out in the field, and I when I started seeing it, I'm like, the boats. I live on the water, and one of the things that they've been telling us for decades is, we're going to be underwater, global warming. Al Gore said, by 1990 or whatever, Florida's going to be underwater. I live in the same town my entire life. I'm in the water. I'm a kite surfer. I'm a boater. And the rock walls are exactly at the exact same height as they were when I was a kid to the water level. The water hasn't risen or dropped an inch, okay, in a long time, okay? And so that had me questioning. And then they say, we can see too far. So I bought a $1,000, thanks to Nikon. Nikon in 2014-ish came out with the P900 camera. Now they have the P1000 super zoom camera, better than most telescopes. And I went down to the beach. I sat, had the camera maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the water. And I zoomed in on things that I should not be able to see. I zoomed in on a buoy that should have been behind 60 plus feet of curvature. And there it was. And I could see the surface of the water beyond the buoy. And I could zoom in on people on the beach that I shouldn't be able to see 10 feet above their heads. Okay. It should all be blocked. And I'm zooming in on things, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And it's not until you test it yourself, verify all things. Okay. Believe nothing. Right? Are you religious?
No, I wouldn't say so.
So do you believe we live on a globe?
Sorry?
Do you believe we live on a globe? You could say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yes.
So do you have any proof of that? Because if you don't, you're in a religion. Do you have any proof? Like if someone said to you, "Hey, this stupid flat Earth is driving me crazy," what can we show him to prove the Earth is a globe? Well, what can we tell him? What would be your number one reason other than you were told it and you were brainwashed into regurgitating it? What would your like, what would the best reason that you believe in a globe?
I think for me, it's mostly, like I said, I'm very much a social science student. So I feel I don't hold enough knowledge to
So what
question it.
we call that the deferring to authority fallacy, right? You discredit yourself. You dishonor your creation. You dishonor your knowledge. You dishonor your God-given senses. Go outside early in the morning when nothing's going on and look around. Are you spinning? Are you twirling and whirling? Are you going in 4 different directions at once? Right? Or is everything perfectly still? Right? I'm looking for so when you believe you live on a globe, when you believe you live on a globe, you have to believe this, right? Not only are you spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, faster than the speed of sound, you're orbiting the sun and you're chasing the sun. Okay. You have to believe this is where you live. When nothing, all of your senses tell you the opposite. This is nonsense, and you're giving it up for your common sense. All right. So just to help you see what these speeds are, this is called the hypersonic sled track. It goes by at 8.6 times the speed of sound, Mach 8.6. Watch it again. You can't even see it. And if you Google it, hypersonic sled track, you'll hear the sound, and it's like shocking. Even to watch on a video, you're like, whoa. Okay. You can't fathom what the speed is. You can't even possibly fathom what twice the speed is. All right. But you have to believe that you are going 10 times faster than that around in a curved trajectory around the earth, around the sun, and chasing the sun 100 times faster than that, because a bunch of guys in bow ties and lab coats told you. But when you go outside, your common sense sees this. What does this tell you? Your common sense. Don't say, I don't have a degree. I'm not a scientist. I trust what the Rockefellers put in the textbooks. The Rockefellers, the ones that said, I don't want a world of thinkers. I want a world of workers, non-thinking workers. So you are falling right into their trap by saying, I'm not qualified. I need someone that has a degree. Guess who gets a degree? The one that memorizes and regurgitates the best. And if you even question the mainstream, you don't get promoted. You don't get advances. You don't get grants. And these grants, the more you reaffirm the nonsense, the more money you get. And so they'll never debunk themselves.
Yeah. So as you probably agree on, there's lots of misinformation in both mainstream media and on social media.
Yeah.
What would you say is important for you to believe something? If someone, for example, posts a video claiming to show something regarding flat Earth, how do you feel like you can believe it?
Oh, I don't believe anything. I go and verify it. When someone said, I see boats go over the horizon, I watch the videos, and on the app, I have there's flat Earth experiments, and these are highly documented, filmed experiments where we went out into the field. We did lasers across lakes, and we had snowmobiles, and we had, you're miles and miles and miles apart, and you have radios, and you have phones, and you have batteries, and you have to film this, and the weather conditions have to cooperate. And so we did it, we documented it, we show it to you, and you're like, wow, these guys really did it. You can go out and do it yourself. It's just not easy. But we show you, now globers will say, well, some guy said, interesting, when he couldn't see a light, therefore the Earth is a globe. We go out and say, what is the temperature? What is the distance? What is going on here? How is this possible? So if I wish I had that's a good idea. I'm going to bring a mirror. So if I had a mirror and I went like this, I have a light in front of me, I could flash the light at you, right? I could flash it at you, right? Now, if I put a brick wall here blocking, I can't flash the light at you anymore. You can't see it because there's a brick wall in between you and me, right?
Yeah.
We can take, when the sun is going down, 2 people can do this. Get a lake, a body of water, whatever, an area where you have enough distance where there should be 50, 60, 100 feet of curvature. 10 miles is 66 feet of curvature. 10 miles across the lake. If the sun's going behind somebody, you flash the mirror at them. And because that mirror flash is so bright, they'll see it. Wait a minute. There's supposed to be 60 feet of Earth curve in between them. So that's something that anybody can do themselves, and it's really easy, right? And people often say, what about the photos of Earth? Here's a photo from NASA, okay? Here's a photo from NASA, right? So here's America, Mexico, a little bit of South America, okay? This is a photo from NASA. Okay, here's the world map, okay? People go, well, this is the Mercator map. You don't know what you're talking about. But if we look, this picture literally is the same colors and paints and everything. It's the same thing, right? This is right there. Look. So you have to believe that all of this land, all of this is on the other side of that ball. Let me ask you a question. Everything else off the table. Does this demonstration debunk this as a photo of the Earth? This is supposed to be a photo of the Earth, but all of this land has to be on the other side of this ball. Does that make any sense to you?
No, maybe not.
Okay, so no, maybe not. The answer is absolutely doesn't make sense. But what happens is people go, I can't figure it out. So I have to defer to the guy in a bow tie who lies. Okay? I have to defer to somebody else because I can't figure it out. The reason you can't figure it out is because it doesn't make any sense. Now, we've all been programmed about extraterrestrials, aliens coming from outer space. Let's think of so an alien comes from another planet going around a star, which is a giant sun, which are light years away. And they came here and they crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. Okay, interesting. So let's look at the best possible case scenario. The planet that the advanced aliens live are next to the closest star next to our sun. And that closest star is 4.5 light years away. That's 25 trillion miles. Okay. That's the best case scenario, 25 trillion miles. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how long 1 trillion seconds is?
No.
Take a guess. Just take a guess. And if you guess it within a week, if you guess it within a month, I'll give you a Bitcoin. Go ahead. Take a guess. No Googling. Go. Just take a guess. A wild guess. Very close. 31,000 years. Okay. Now, just let that soak in for a second. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. You and I get in a spaceship, we're traveling a mile per second. We travel for 1 trillion seconds. We've gone 1 trillion miles. We are now 1/25th of the way to the closest star, and we've been traveling for 31,000 years. These numbers should make your brain melt. Okay, let's go. Well, you know what? I got a better ship. I got an upgrade. It goes 100,000 miles an hour, a speed that you can't even fathom. It would only take us 28,000 years to get to the closest star. And all of the other stars are magnitudes farther away, what they tell us. But when you take the time, not be lazy and say, okay, well, Polaris is our North Star. It's 433 light years away. Okay? 433 light years away. How do we see it? Because light spreads out. It doesn't stay intense and travel for billions of years. It spreads out to the point where you can't see it, right? As light spreads out, it's called the inverse square law of light, and it gets exponentially dimmer and dimmer. Every time you double the distance, it's a quarter of the brightness, and that just keeps happening again and again until it's so dim you can't see it. And if you do the math, I'm not going to do it here. At a light year, not a light year, at a light month away, you couldn't see it. You couldn't see it. And it's 433 light years away, and we can see it. And we're traveling 4.4 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before, but somehow it never moves. It never moves. We're corkscrewing through space. We live on a heliocentric world. We're going in 4 different directions at once, but North Star never moves. Never moves.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's any type of evidence, so to say, that would make you review your position?
Oh, absolutely. Show me curvature. Show me high pressure next to low pressure without a physical barrier. show me how flat water bends, flat water at rest, large bodies of water at rest, bending. Okay. A submarine sitting at
When
the
you
bottom
say
of
show me,
what?
do you mean experiments
Yeah,
then?
experiments.
That you could
Absolutely.
be, yeah, yeah. And as you're probably aware and know probably more of them than me, there's lots of other content creators. How do you feel about them, and do they usually share the same view as you, or do you feel like you have somewhat opposing views?
Other flat Earth content creators?
Yeah.
Most of them, we all discuss, like some people think that, the biblical people say, the dome comes down. I think biblical works over the larger plane area. I think it works the same. It's all how you define things, and we all are trying to figure it out together. But we all agree that it's not a spinning ball. Now, there's some, people out there that call themselves flat earthers that think some really ridiculous things. Like if you Google, you end up at the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society says that the Earth is rising up at 9.8 meters per second. That causes gravity, when that's provably untrue. Okay, no flat earther believes that, but globe believers believe, flat earth believers believe that. So when you say, there's, on my app, there's most of the videos aren't mine. They're other people's videos. It's just we bring it all together, believe nothing, test everything. Okay. But people say, what about star rotation? The stars rotate the opposite direction. Perfectly explainable on flat Earth. The moon's upside down in Australia. No, it's not. You're just on the other side of a room. If you and I were on opposite sides of a room, and I had a moon with a smiley face, you're looking at it smiling, and I'm looking at it upside down because we're on opposite sides of the room. We're looking up at the same thing, flat Earth. But we've been programmed not to think these things. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I would assume that a lot of flat earthers look up to you somewhat. And how do you make sure that the information you share is accurate?
We all discuss it. We go over it. We have a show every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern in the U.S., and you can watch it afterwards, called Globe Busters. And it's on YouTube, and it's on Rockfin. And we go over things, and we think, and sometimes we're like, hey, you know what? I've changed my view on this. Flat earthers used to think that there was no flight from Santiago to Australia because it's too far on a flat Earth. But then we found out there is a flight, but it takes a different path, and it's a flight. It's a plane that goes a lot faster than they tell us. And we actually did a live stream with a guy on it who did compass readings the whole way, and it showed that they weren't going the route that they said. Okay. And weren't going the route that they said. And, one of the, and we're all working together. So you asked if people look up to me. I guess, people look up to people that are popular. I'm pretty popular. But I'm no different than anybody else. And people say, oh, Dave's the leading guy. I'm not the leading guy. I'm the most outspoken, maybe. I do the most shows that reach new people. Definitely. But there's people that are way smarter than me. As a matter of fact, in 2 hours from now, we're going up against a professor, but myself and Austin Whitsitt from the channel Whitsitt Gets It. He is probably the smartest guy, not in flat Earth, but on flat Earth. He's one of the smartest guys as far as knowing the history and knowing all of the old models and everything else. Just on the app, and I expect you to get this for your research paper in the homeschooling section. This is where the some real good stuff. This is called Schooling Globers. If you really want to learn the fine details on each topic, great one here. Great stuff in here. This is a college education here. I'm sorry, you're in grad school, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'll just say, don't go to college. Whatever you do, don't go to college. You're wasting your money. But I won't say that on this podcast.
Fortunately, it's free in Sweden, but yeah. So, conspiracy theory is probably something you hear flat Earth being called a lot. And that's obviously a term coined by a larger audience. How do you feel about it when people use it to describe flat Earth?
The worst thing you can call somebody is a flat earther, right? So we have, people that call themselves troop, excuse me, call themselves, sorry, I'm just And his sip of tea. Call themselves true earthers. Okay, I love true earth. Sounds great. But I own Flat Earth. I don't own it, but I own the name because I want everybody knows what Flat Earth. Flat Earth triggers people, and I love getting people to come at me. Come at me. Show me a globe Earth. Like we're going up against a professor who's an OG truther. He's figured out so many things. He wrote a book called "We Didn't Go to the Moon," and that's a fact. Okay, and he can't see flat Earth yet, and his flat Earth arguments are pathetic. They're all pathetic. The people that fight against flat Earth the strongest are the least researched, and they do what's called a straw man, which is they make claims that we don't make claims. They make claims about us that we don't make claims. You got to hold on one second. I get a battery cord.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good. Okay, so it's going to be fascinating. Actually, you should tune in. The channel is going to be Witsit Gets It, WITSIT GETSIT, in 2 hours from now on YouTube. Go there and watch it. It'll help you with your paper.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and how do you deal with the backlash that you get? Because I would assume that there is a lot. Do you have a strategy to counter it, or?
I just keep to my truth, and I don't let people drag me down, and I don't get involved in any drama. I just this is my truth. Show me that I'm wrong. Show me your proof, right? Yeah. I've been offering 3 Bitcoins for years, and you just get these sometimes just liars, but sometimes people that are just so far gone. They're like, what about this photo of Earth? And it's not even a photo that NASA claims is real. I'm like, and you really get nothing. So it affects a lot of people. Aren't ready to wake up. My sister and brother, not ready to wake up. They don't see anything. They believe what happened on September 11th was exactly how the news said. They believe everything. And they've never taken the time. It's lazy. What to believe? Believing is easy. Belief is the enemy of knowing, as Crow 777 Radio says. Okay, but if you want to know, you have to take the time and effort to look, and you have to know where to look. That's the problem. Google's not going to feed you knowing. Google's going to feed you what they want you to know.
Yeah.
Or believe that what they want you to believe. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm happy with what I've got now from what you've been telling me. Do you feel like there's anything I've missed, or do you want to add anything?
I do want to add something. So you believe that we have a space station up in space and that they've taken pictures of the Earth, right? I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to just go over a couple of pictures. Here's a picture from the space station, and here's a photo from NASA. There's a discrepancy. Look how big this this doesn't make any sense, right? So here's another one. This is from the space station, but if we look at it on our Earth, it's just this little circle right here. It's hard to see, but trust me, it's all. What is this curve? So this is just a high flying airplane with a fisheye lens, and they're telling you it's a space station, right? And as I showed you before, here's another one. Here's Africa, right? The rest of this has to be on the other side, right? Wait a minute. This is the other side. Remember when I showed you the one that was over here? Where's the rest of the world? It's how many sides does it have, right? And here's a recent one. You can tell it's a space station because look, they always get a little selfie in there. It's just this little square. Okay, so you show people this, they go, their brain. It's a real cool trick. You show them this, they try to figure it out. They can't make sense of it. So instead of going, yeah, that's stupid, it's wrong, they go, I can't figure it out. I have to defer to authority. They don't come up with the clear conclusion. Hey, I've been fooled. It's a lie. And there's no other explanation. They go, I can't figure it out. Therefore, I'm not qualified to figure it out. That literally discredits yourself, your creation. That's what it does. And that's what they want. They want us controllable. They want us atheistic. Is that a word? Atheistic? I'll make it up if it's not. It's now a word. Okay. It's now, is it nihilistic or whatever? And they want us in a state where we are their slaves, where we give away our power, where we deny the creator, where we are, malleable slaves. And that's not me. When you unplug from the matrix, which I mean unplug from the heliocentric model, all of a sudden you can see everything. All of a sudden you realize your real power, and you no longer have to obey the nonsense. Like, I didn't comply with any of the stuff that's happening since 2020, and I don't regret it. One of the greatest things about being without spinning into another topic, about being a conspiracy theorist is you don't get myocarditis.
Yeah. Guess that's good.
Yes. All right. Anything else? So, best proof that we live on a globe from your point of view, other than somebody told you, other that you're not qualified?
Yeah, I don't really sit with any proofs, I would say.
All right. So let's be clear. You don't know why you believe it's a globe, but you're just going to believe it. I showed you proof that it's not a globe, but you haven't processed it yet. That's okay. Take your time. Okay. And the reason you don't care is because you have other better things to do. But you are denying your position in this world. You are a powerful spiritual being having an experience in this realm where you're supposed to make the most of it. And if you don't know where you are or who you are or what you are or the power that you have, you could still have a good time, but you're wasting your experience here. But don't worry, you'll probably get to come back and do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I'll think a lot about this. I'll download the app and check it out.
Okay.
And good luck for the live stream later.
Oh, thank you. And do me a favor, when you get the app, just every morning when you get up and you're having your breakfast, click this little thumbnail and watch the video. And then that's it. Yeah. That's it. If you want to watch any videos that come after it, feel free, but just watch one video a day for a couple of weeks. All right? And then let me know how you're doing.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks. Good luck.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.